Welcome to a very green installment of my favorite Pokemon types. The topic is grass Pokemon. These are all my favorite grass Pokemon. There's no specific reason as to what makes them my favorite grass Pokemon. I just happen to like them. It's all based on my opinion. It has nothing to do with them being top tier, low tier, mid tier, anything like that. It only has to do with what the Pokemon that I like. Now, the first Pokemon that you might be seeing on this list is two Pokemon, but it's the same Pokemon. In Electronics Gaming Monthly, Bellossom was featured as a preview Pokemon, as a Pokemon that we were going to be seeing in Pokemon Gold and Silver. However, you can see that, the one on the left is the one that kind of resembles the shiny form, which I actually do have the shiny form, by the way, but that's not why this Pokemon's on the list. No, this is what the original concept of Bellossom looked like. It had the blue body. It had like more, like red and different. Like it was more multicolored, whereas the Bellossom that we know is more green. It was probably due to a limitation in the Gold and Silver Game Boy Color limitation technological. But I really like this Pokemon just because it looked like a hula dancer. I'm surprised that we don't see Oddish in the gang and all of its evolutions in the Alola region, because you would think this would be a Pokemon that belonged there. And if it was there, I totally have forgotten about it, so pardon me. But I was never crazy about Oddish, Gloom, or Vileplume before. I mean, they were alright. But Bellossom, I like Bellossom. I really do. It's a cute little Pokemon. I thought it was going to be really great. Even though it's a pure grass, I like that it differs from the rest of its evolution family that way. And like I said, I liked the original concept art a little bit more than the regular, which is weird because my favorite color is green. But you can't help but not look at this Pokemon and not think that I think its original name was Karihana for the Japanese version. So I was really looking forward to that Pokemon. And then, not that the color scheme really mattered that much to me, because I liked it. It had a good design, and even in using it, it had Petal Dance, and then I had it learn Solar Beam, and then I tried to take advantage of the fact that I could get certain moves from being Gloom and from being Oddish. So it really kind of opened up some possibilities for the Pokemon. And yeah, I mean, I really did enjoy using Bellossom. The next Pokemon is the cactus Pokemon Cacturne. Cacturne, I didn't really care about until I needed a way to get past the evil Milotic that was in the battle tower in Gen 3. And then I looked at different Pokemon and I thought, well, as it happens, Cacturne is actually pretty cool. What was once its signature move, Needle Arm. I'm sure other Pokemon have it now. Actually, they do. I just thought of it right now. Cacturne with Ingrain, Leftovers, Toxic, and Needle Arm was an amazing force. It kept itself alive pretty well. It had enough in its defenses that it was able to take a lot of hits. But what I didn't know about the Milotic was about its Marvel Scale ability, I think it is. Yeah, it actually gets more defense when it has a status problem. So when I was using Toxic on it, and when I was hitting it with Needle Arm, and I was like, come on, that thing would not go down. And even with all the recovery that Cacturne had, I believe that particular Milotic had Ice Beam. So Cacturne kept itself alive, and it just became a war of attrition, who was going to run out of power points first. And unfortunately for me, more often than not, it would be me, because I would run out of moves that could actually hit it, and then of course the computer would get that critical hit. But I like using Cacturne. I still go back to it every so often because I look at it and I still think about all the victories that we had together. I mean, I'm sure there's other Pokemon that could do the job better, but that's just one that I happen to like. Please pardon me clearing my throat. So next, now, I saw, I was looking at it, and when I was just grinding in a particular area in the Kalos region, I saw that Pumpkaboos were appearing as different sizes within the game, and I'm like, why are they all appearing as different sizes? This is weird. So I went and looked it up and saw that Pumpkaboo comes in 4 sizes: small, medium, large, and super size. And when I looked at my Pokedex, I had not seen a supersized one yet. So I just started hunting for a supersized one. Now, it's hard to tell the difference between the large one and the supersize, because it's like, yes, the supersized one is bigger, but it's like you're trying to look at it and you're like, well, this one seems larger than the rest. Maybe this is the one I want. No, not this one either. And finally, one appeared that was a supersized one. And the supersized one, its cry is actually a little deeper than the other ones. Like, the other ones have about the same cry, but a supersized one has a deeper cry. But this one was also, the first supersized one I came across was a shiny. Yes, that's how lucky I was. That's how many hours I was grinding in that one, like, autumnal area of the Kalos region trying to find this Pumpkaboo. And of course, that leads to me having a shiny Gougeist as well. But I do like the regular standard Pumpkaboo and Gougeist. I mean, it's a great Pokemon, but moreover, because they're like jack-o'-lanterns, they can learn Flamethrower. That's amazing, right? But going to my shiny one, it had Frisk, so I named it Marlene as an homage to Marceline, the Vampire Queen from Adventure Time. But yeah, it had Frisk, so it's like, it was good for my, like, and it can learn Thief. It can learn Thief, and it is pretty cool because not only is it frisking the opponent, it can take from them too. More Marceline action, I believe, because I don't think she'd be above doing anything like that. But I did enjoy using the Pokemon with, like, Seed Bomb, Shadow Ball. Like, it had all these, like, really cool moves that I actually preferred using, and the supersized one has a lot in its defensive stats, whereas the other ones are a bit faster, so it sacrifices that speed to be able to take more hits, and I liked that. Like, I don't know, it was a Pokemon that I instantly liked when I saw it, but the fact that there was, like, the supersized one, I was like, oh, that's the one I want. I didn't really pay too much attention to the stats, but I saw the supersized one was going to have higher stats. I didn't really realize how that worked exactly, how the distribution was, but yeah, it was fun to use. I still use it more for when I'm thieving or doing anything. Like, it's usually a go-to grass type for me anymore, and it's also a ghost type too. I mean, that's pretty fun. But yeah, so the next Pokemon is a 3rd gen Pokemon, Sceptile. I'm sure some of you guys may have heard of Sceptile before. Sceptile I really like. It was one of the few Pokemon that had Leaf Blade in Gen 3. It's a really cool, like, grass dragon, even though it's not a dragon type, but it could learn dragon type moves, so that made it pretty fun. I liked everything about it. I enjoyed seeing it on the show. I actually incorporated it into one of my Gen 3 teams with Blaziken because it was a good follow-up. In fact, I kind of felt playing Ruby with Trico because I didn't think Mudkip would team up with Groudon that well. I found that it was a good, like, if you're playing Ruby, you should probably start with Trico. But Sceptile is a pretty fun Pokemon, and it does have a Mega Form, which I've yet to use, so I'm not going to talk about Pokemon I haven't really experimented with. But it does become a Dragon type, making it more resilient, and then it has Lightning Rod, so you can actually get it to increase, like, if you, especially in a double battle, you could increase its special attack and make it an even better special sweeper. But yeah, I enjoy Sceptile for just the signature move Leaf Blade. I think that was one of the key things I actually would use it for, just because I liked that it was a grass sword. Shiftry is another Pokemon that I like just before its, like, dynamics. Like, I looked at it and I felt it was pretty cool. I actually wasted my Bullet Seed TM on it, but in Gen 4, I taught it Energy Ball, and I actually felt like I had to teach it Energy Ball because that would be the closest thing to Rasengan, because it looked like Jiraiya from Naruto. Yes, that's totally why I used Shiftry. I don't care. Like, it even, like, aesthetic, like, just looking at its design, it just looks like Jiraiya. It even has like the sandal feet, like the clogs that are like making them taller. It has the long white mane, you know. Granted, Dry doesn't have a pointy nose or fans, but come on. And even in the anime, Shiftry was always really cool. Like, it would always have like a gust of wind. It was associated with ninja as well. Like, there's just not much you can say bad about Shiftry. I did teach it moves like Razor Wind, Razor Leaf, I think I had it knowing for a time. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I actually played with it because there's like 1,000 Pokemon now. But yeah, I always look at Shiftry and I was like, yeah, that Pokemon's pretty cool. Next is a Pokemon that nobody knew about for the longest time. We were all going into Pokemon X and Y like, okay, these games are coming out. We know nothing about these games. So like maybe a week or two before the games were released, they're like, oh yeah, here are the starter Pokemon. And I looked at them, and of course, I saw Chespin and was like, yeah, I'm going to go with Chespin because that one looks like the fighter. Granted, the favorite one of that generation is Froakie, but we're not talking about Froakie right now. We're talking about Chespin. I got Chespin, and I just really liked it. Like, the whole evolutionary line, I believe, is based off of a Chesnaught, hence the final Quillin, and then Quillin, and then Chesnaught. You know, like, they're supposed to be chestnuts, I believe. But even so, like, little chipmunks that become fighters. Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually like that, like, Chesnaught's, like, not clothing, but clothing, I guess you could say, his armor kind of makes it look like he's a little more royal and distinct over the other two starters. And it got moved, like, it got Woodhammer, I believe, and then I believe it also too had Needle Arm, and I taught it Poison Jab and Power Up Punch as well. I found, like, using it was just such a solid fighter, and I don't know, I just really like this Pokemon. I can't really put it into words exactly why I enjoy this Pokemon, but even with its ability, Spike Shield, I believe it's called, like, it's not its ability, it's signature move, Spike Shield, in which it's like Protect, but then the opponent will take some damage. Like, that's pretty cool, like, because Protect usually doesn't do anything, but then if the opponent's making contact, this shield will actually do some damage to them, which, again, that is awesome. But yeah, these past 6 Pokemon, or, well, it's a little more than 6, but I had to divvy it up by species. These are my favorite Pokemon of the grass type, or at least this is the first half of the list. If you want to head over to Patreon, you can support this channel just a little bit by watching the second half of the my favorite grass type Pokemon. If not, or even if so, please give this video a like, and do make sure to subscribe and check out my other Pokemon videos in the right hand column, and do check out my Let's Play of Pokemon Sun. Thank you for watching.